Hello and welcome to the Big Magazine. I'm Lee Bannister, and over the next hour we'll be bringing you a relaxed look at Birmingham, Solihull, the Black Country and beyond. Yes, welcome to the new and improved show, following in the good old tradition of the Big Centre magazine and the Midland Weekend. Now in a few moments we'll take a look back with Bob over the week in big news to see what's been happening in our area this week. A little later on, Des and Gary will be with us to look at what's on Sunday, and then Carl will take time out from the big picture to let us know what's happening in the world of film. I'll be sitting down with Natalie to see what's up on this week's community notice board, and then Natalie will have the first in a new series of Charity Focus, in which we find out about a local charity, and this week she's looking at the YMCA's Open Door project. Tom Wilkinson from Doorstep History will drop in to give us a history lesson about what happened this week over the years, and then I'll take a look into the good old postbag. You can't keep me out of it. So that's all to come within the pages of Sunday's Big Magazine. So then, first up, it's over to Big Centre's Head of News, Bob Hall, for a look back at what's been going on in our region this week. Bob.
Thanks, Lee. Now, every year around 4,000 refugees will be settled in towns and cities up and down the country. To support this, a West Midlands-based community housing group are launching a new campaign in a bid to steer away from the stereotypes of people in need. Roshni Patel reports.
Very bad to leave your country, but no choice. So that I leave it, and now I'm okay. I'm living a new life. My brothers, my sisters, and my wife, the whole my family, I leave them back in home, and they are home right now.
This is Hytham. He came to the UK last year in the hope of fleeing his war-torn country in Sudan. The dream was to build a new life for himself out of nothing, and with the help of one of the region's housing groups, he's doing just that.
Ashley Community Housing is a social enterprise. We're based in Wolverhampton, Birmingham and Bristol, and we predominantly focus on resettling refugees in the UK through supported housing and training. The aim is to move people towards sustained independence. I say that's the kind of end goal, and we do that through very personalised care. We offer support from the very start, and through that we build in training, which builds in things like language skills, employability training. So really we want to move someone towards independence so they can support themselves.
In recent months, the government has announced that it aims to resettle 20,000 refugees by 2020. The problem is, in light of recent global events, refugees are falling in and out of favour with people across the world. It's something that hasn't gone unnoticed by this West Midland-based housing group, and it's exactly what they're trying to tackle.
Rethinking Refugees is a really important campaign for us because it really underpins what we do at Ashley Community Housing, and that is treating people as individuals. We do see a lot on the news, and a lot of that is regarding people in terms of numbers, whereas we're about, we want to show human beings, we want to show individuals. They have individual ambitions, goals in life, different skills, and we want to express that.
But it's not all bad. Hytham tells me that although there could be this stigma towards refugees out there, he's been lucky enough not to have witnessed it.
Yeah, I feel welcome firstly from the government when I came here, and then the people also, they kind to me. Nobody they distract me till now here, so I feel welcome. I'm trying to build up my life right now here. About I'm going to ASOL classes to learn English, and after finishing English, I'm going to find something to learn it so as to make it as my new career for this life.
1 year on, and Hytham continues to be focused on getting his life back on track. For him, the dream is to one day be reunited with his family back in Sudan. And for the housing group, they hope that all refugees will feel like this Sudanese national, a human being, and not just another number. This is Roshni Patel for Big News in Wolverhampton.
Now, on the corner of a country road in Wolverhampton lies the old Tree Nursery, a horticultural centre that grows plants for its housing schemes, as well as fresh produce for kitchens in residential and sheltered care homes across the Black Country. But, as Roshni Patel found out, there's more to it than that.
28 years on, and this site is still standing. Like a weed in the ground, it's managed to stick to its roots, even in the face of the threat of closure due to government budget cuts.
Our first feeling was, where are these students going to go? So your natural reaction being, a social conscience, care and support companies, how can we help? Heaton's got a long history with providing care and support to vulnerable and disadvantaged people, so it was a perfect fit for all parties.
Last summer, nearly 2,000 people signed a petition to save this site behind me. For them, it's not just your ordinary nursery. Old Tree is run by students with learning difficulties and mental health issues, serving as somewhat of a safe haven.
It's nice and lovely.
Well, I just like visiting people and working with Matt and Drew and everybody. It is a happy experience.
Kevin, what's your favourite thing about here?
Dicky, water, planting, seeds.
For Heaton, saving the nursery was only just the beginning. They're now looking to the rest of the region to help it grow.
It's a big site. We're here to grow plants, fresh produce, fruit, veg, flowers. But like anything, we need resource. People time, volunteering time, material supplies. We do need to do a lot of work to bring the standards up so that we can attract the public to come here. We want people of all ages and all backgrounds to come and experience this and really help make the students successful. Everything that's grown here and is sold is ploughed straight back into Old Tree Nursery.
So as new produce hits the soil, the team at Heaton hope that with the rest of the region's help, they too can plant their own seed and watch Old Tree Nursery continue to grow. This is Roshni Patel for Big News in Wolverhampton.
Dudley Council's Children's Social Service has been rated inadequate following a 2-month Ofsted inspection. The report, which was released earlier this week, concluded that there were widespread failures in services provided to children and young people throughout the borough. The inspection took place during January and February. It includes adoption, fostering and child protection services. Monica Plaha spoke to Sarah Norman, who's Chief Executive of Dudley Council.
I'm very happy to apologise on behalf of the Council to children, young people and families that we haven't done a good enough job. We're now working hard to rectify that as quickly as possible, and the Ofsted report makes that clear and is positive about the role that the new senior management team are playing in doing that.
But what guarantee can we get from that it will improve and it will only get better?
Well, Ofsted say that the new senior management team is providing strong leadership and strategic vision and has a really good understanding of the changes required. It also says that we have a robust improvement plan in place, which has the right priorities and is well sequenced. Now, what we now need to do is to carry on taking that important work forward.
And how did a key department like this even become inadequate?
Well, I've only been with the Council since 2015, so it's difficult for me to talk about what happened before that. Children's Services, though, does require strong, dedicated leadership. It requires vision, it requires a real attention to the standards of staff, and clearly Dudley needed to do more in that respect.
The future for small retailers is looking bleak. Research from the local data company and the British Independent Retailers Association shows that independent shops are opening at their slowest rate for 7 years. Cafes and barbers are on the rise, but pubs, newsagents and Indian restaurants are all in decline. One area, though, that is doing well is Spark Hill in Birmingham.
From what used to be a co-op to Midland Textiles to this, houses that have been converted to shops flats to beauty parlours. It's no surprise to why Spark Hill has been named as the independent shopping capital of Britain.
It brings in employment, it brings in money, and it just regenerates the area, because this area has lost so many manufacturing jobs that this is a new way for us, the retail. So we want to be now the retail hub of not just Birmingham but also of Britain.
There may be a national decline in the number of independent shops across Britain, but here in Spark Hill it's another story. On Stratford Road, around 95% of the shops are independently owned. So what's next?
I want this to be recognised as a business improvement district, where the shopkeepers just pay 1% over what the business rates are. With that you get extra light, you get Christmas lights, you get festival lights, and also you get a town centre manager where you get extra cleaning done in the area. So it just spruces up the area. Wherever there has been business improvement districts, that area seems to have just gone up. So we want that to be recognised officially as a high street.
Despite the tough competition, shop owner Kasim believes that diversity is the key to success when it comes to bringing in the customers.
Stratford Road is definitely become a hub for shopping, especially with the amount of variety and the amount of shops. The length and width of the road, it really helps. People do travel from far and wide, especially all over the country. We'll have customers from London, from Scotland.
Whilst the big cities show the greater increase of independence, it's the towns that are suffering. From 11 of these businesses opening a day in 2010 to 1 per week last year. Spark Hill may be smiling, but it's clear that more needs to be done when it comes to tackling the challenges independents face. Monica Plaha, Big News in Spark Hill.
A new law this week means that all dog owners must get their pet microchipped. But what does a microchip actually achieve, and why has it been sealed into UK's legislation? Here's Roshni Patel.
This queue of dog owners is just one of the many up and down the country, all waiting to get their dogs microchipped. Up until now, this tiny chip wasn't such a worry for owners, but as of today, it's become a legal requirement.
Well, a microchip is the best way to permanently identify your dog as your property. So obviously, if your dog became lost and was picked up by one of the City Council dog wardens, for instance, in Birmingham, obviously then we have the information, which should be up to date and on the database, and we are able to return a dog directly to its owner, rather than having to have dogs obviously go to stray dog kennels.
These microchips are about 12 millimetres in length. Now, to put that into perspective, that's about the size of a grain of rice. It's inserted in between the dog's shoulder blades, giving them each a unique 15-digit code where basic contact information can be stored. So, for these dog owners behind me, is it worth the £20 to £30 price tag that it comes with?
Yes, definitely, yeah. For all them dogs in the dog zone, they can't get back to their owners, and that's definitely, yeah.
I think so, yes, it is worth the money. It's well worth the money, because dogs can be traced if they get lost, and it also keeps a little bit of a policing on bad breeders.
I think it's a bit expensive, but yeah, I think we need to get all the dogs chipped so as we know sort of whose dog belongs to who, yes.
Yes. So what's stopping dog owners out there from complying with this new law?
So in the first instance, the dog warden enforcement officers will be serving a legal notice on people, and that will give them 21 days to get their dogs microchipped. If after 21 days the dog owner has not complied with that legal notice, then they could be prosecuted, and it's a maximum fine of £500.
There is a concern though. According to the government, around 1 million dogs, that's 1 in 8, are still not chipped. So the question remains, will this new law help UK dog owners keep their pets on a tighter leash? This is Roshni Patel for Big News in Shard End in Birmingham.
Well, it's been described as the cultural and creative hub of Birmingham, but the Drum Arts Centre in Aston is to close as it's going into liquidation. Events publicised between now and June will, though, go ahead as planned. Here's a report from Monica Plaha.
An arts centre that stands for diversity, expression of freedom and soul. For 22 years, the Drum has played host to multicultural performers, films and events for people from all across the country.
The Drum gave you the opportunity to learn how to become a theatre goer, learn to appreciate theatre, and particularly for the young people who can't afford to go to many of these stage schools that are around, they get to come here for a nominal fee, and they get to learn the process and they get to build their confidence.
Newtown Cultural Project Limited, the leading board, has decided to go into a winding down process. This is before liquidation happens in June. However, the board remain hopeful that this time will give them the breathing space to come up with a solution.
Beginning of January, some of its funding was withheld for a number of reasons. Some of them pertaining to low attendee numbers, and we did not want to be in a position that we were trading insolvently. Therefore, we took the decision that gave us an opportunity to rescue the Drum building and continue it for the legacy of our community.
And thanks to Bob Hall and the Big News team. Still to come after the break, Des and Gary's What's On for Sunday, and then Carl will be here from the Big Picture with a look at the film news. I'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back. It's the Big Magazine with you for a Sunday here on Big Centre. Still to come, Carl will be here with the film news. Natalie will join me for a look at the community notice board, and then she'll bring us the first part of our new charity focus. Tom Wilkinson will be looking ahead to next week in history, and I'll be delving into the postbag. That's all later on in the show. But first, let's find out what's on for today, Sunday. It's your friends and probably someone else's as well. It's Des and Gary.
At Fetcher's Bar over in Kings Heath, the Kings Heath Walk of Fame presents Beyond Borders in aid of homeless charity CIFA, Fireside, and features Andy Thomas, Alex Van, Pete Kelly and Grand Valise.
Because theirs is like in Kings Heath, it's like a miniature version of what we've got on Broad Street, isn't it? They've got, various people have got stars there. I think Trevor Burton's got one, and yeah.
I've just seen chewing gum on the pavement.
Yeah. And gigs, the Jam Club, the Jazz Club 90, sorry about that, guys, over in Albrighton, the Sports and Social Club presents Chris Quinn and Arthur Ebeling. 40 Blue Toes are at the Brass House on Broad Street. Beth Sherburn is at the Hare and Hounds. And from the Colorado Rockies, the Rail Splitters play the Kitchen Garden Cafe in Kings Heath. And here's that. Before we get to that, it's time to go.
We're going to go. We're finished.
Yes, we're done.
That went quick, didn't it?
OK.
Say goodbye.
Here's their video, My World. We'll see you next
soon.
week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello there, my name's John Price. I am the pastor of a church in Wombourne. Life in the 21st century is all about PIN numbers and passwords. They prove identity, they give access approval. I always seem to forget mine. But the use of passwords, it's an ancient practice. Centuries would challenge anyone wishing to enter a certain area. Who goes there would be the challenge, and the answer would be either your name or the password. Today you need a password to most things, to computers, mobile phones, bank accounts. But just listen to this. This is Psalm 100. On your feet, applaud God. Bring a gift of laughter. Sing yourself into his presence. Know this, God is God. He made us, we didn't make him. We're his people, his well-tended sheep. Enter with a password, thank you. Make yourself at home, thank him. For God is all generous, in love, loyal always, and forever. God doesn't live in time and space. He lives in almost a parallel universe to us. He lives in an eternal now. He lives in a place that doesn't have a postcode, but it does have a password. That password is simply, thank you. How can I come into the presence of God? Can I come into the presence of God on a wet Monday morning or any other time? Is it possible to know God's presence? Psalm 100 says it is. Just use the password it says. Meister Eckhart said, if the only prayer you ever say in your whole life is thank you, that will suffice. I stood in a shop doorway at Merry Hill a few weeks ago, holding the door open for people coming through. I just intended to hold it open for a young mum that was carrying a baby, but others followed. There must have been a dozen people who all crowded through. Only a couple of them stopped to say, hey, thank you. Most of them didn't even look at me. When I say thank you to Jesus, I make the connection with him. It's as if I step into his parallel universe. This password opens the door into the dimension of God himself. And then anything becomes possible. There is a direct correlation between giving thanks and having peace of mind. The password, thank you, brings God's presence and God's peace. So the psalm again, enter with the password, thank you. Make yourself at home. Thank him, for God is all generous, in love, loyal always, and forever. Thanks for listening.
Now it's time to join Carl Jones from our movie show The Big Picture for a look at this week's film news.
Now, do you think you know your fairy stories? Well, think again, because a film called The Huntsman, Winter's War puts an entirely new spin on the world of Snow White and her dwarves. Have a look at this.
You will train. You will become my elite. You will become my huntsman.
If it's the Snow White tale you're looking for, discover the story that came before.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?
You are my queen, but your sister holds a baby who will grow to be more beautiful than you. But should any harm come to the child, your sister's power will be unleashed.
With the mirror's dark magic, I'll rule the world.
That mirror is an evil and dangerous thing. We have to destroy it.
Together. This is what I trained you for.
So, have you got a plan? Aye.
Is that any good?
So So, in essence, the story is this. Evil Queen Ravenna, played by Charlize Theron, has upset her young sister, played by Emily Blunt. And Emily Blunt's turned rogue, freezing half the kingdom and banning any of her subjects from falling in love. Now, much of the story revolves around a quest for people trying to get their hands on the magic mirror on the wall, which has been stolen by goblins. Chris Hemsworth plays a hero huntsman who's among those on the case. The only problem for him is that he's fallen out with the Ice Queen and doesn't really know who else he can trust. There's all sorts of celebrity faces popping up. You'll spot Sheridan Smith and Rob Brydon in there as two dwarves, and actually they're probably the best thing about this movie, which, if I'm honest, I thought was a bit of a mess. Now, I usually love Emily Blunt, but she seemed bored to tears in this film. And then there's Chris Hemsworth's Scottish accent, which was about as convincing as Gerard Butler is as an American. Now then, there's lots of other choices at the West Midlands box office if you don't like the sound of The Winter's War. And we'll start by a countdown at the top 10. At number 10 is the third chapter of the Divergent series, That's Allegiant. At number 9, we have the creepy horror The Boy. Want to avoid that one if you're frightened of sinister dolls. At number 8, Gerard Butler is causing chaos still in the capital in the action sequel London Has Fallen, which comes hot on the heels of Olympus Has Fallen. At number 7, and this one's quite interesting, showing just how popular opera is becoming at our cinemas right now, the Met Opera's performance of Madame Butterfly is at number 7 in our list. At number 6 is the sci-fi thriller 10 Cloverfield Lane. Now, that's a film which, the less you know about it, the more you'll probably enjoy it. At number 5, 14 years after the original, we have My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2. Not quite as good as the first one, but still doing well in the charts. At number 4 is Kung Fu Panda 3, which for my money is the best in the series so far. Into the top 3, and at 3 we've got Eddie the Eagle, a real feel-good film with Taron Egerton and Hugh Jackman, the true story of Eddie Edwards and his amazing Winter Olympics journey. At 2 we have the brilliant Disney Pixar animation Zootropolis, and this is a film that's got laughs for the whole family, visually and also in the script itself. And still at number 1 for a third week, while the critics might be split on what they make of it, but still topping the charts, is Batman vs Superman. Don't forget, if you like your movies, there's plenty more where this came from. We have just extended Big Centre TV's weekly film show from half an hour into 1 whole hour. Catch me every Friday at 10 o'clock for The Big Picture, which is a mix of reviews of the big cinema movies, a look at what's happening on the small screen and in the streaming world, and also, of course, interviews with local movie makers, actors and technicians, and there are plenty of them about. If you think you'd like a place on the Big Picture sofa, well, send me an email. The address is movies@bigcentre.tv, and as I said, we'll be there Fridays at 10 o'clock for a whole hour every week through the summer.
Thanks, Carl. OK, we're going to take a short break now, but when we come back, Natalie will be joining me for the community notice board. Then she'll bring us the first of a new series of Charity Focus. And this week we're looking at a special project from the YMCA. And as ever, I'll be delving into the Big Centre postbag too. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back to the final section of Sunday's Big Magazine. Still to come, Natalie will have the first in a new series of Charity Focus. This week it's the YMCA. Tom Wilkinson will have a look forward to this week in the past. And I'll take a look at what's in this week's postbag. But first...
Hello everyone, it's time to have a look at what's happening in your community as we take a brand new look at our brand new community notice board. Hi Lee and welcome.
Hello.
All right, don't forget it is free, but give us plenty of notice and you could be telling people all across the area what's going on near you.
Yes, if you want to get in touch, then we'll tell you how in a few minutes' time.
Let's have a look at some of the events coming up at Tipton Library now. And the local artist Graham Colborne is returning for another talk on Monday the 18th of April at 1 p.m.
Yeah, next there's an NCMP Healthy Lifestyle support session on the 11th and 25th of April, and that's for parents who are interested in making lifestyle changes.
There's advice and support with healthy eating and physical activity. The monthly reading group are meeting again on Saturday the 16th of April from 11:30 till 12:30 p.m.
And then on Thursday the 14th of April, it's the local history morning, and this time it's Would You Believe It with Chris Smith. And he'll be asking, can you tell the true story from the fake one? Or can you?
I'm not sure. We hear there are prizes on offer and admission is free, but you'll just need to reserve your place.
Now there's a fun day on Saturday the 23rd of April called For Shakespeare and St George, and it's celebrating the 400th anniversary of Shakespeare's death and St George's Day.
400 years.
400 years, yeah.
And we're still learning about him in school.
That seemed like 5 minutes.
That's an achievement, Shakespeare. Well done.
Go Shakespeare.
There'll be community stalls, homemade refreshments and the unveiling of a special Tipton Slasher photograph too.
Oh yes, and finally for Tipton Library for now, it's String Along. And now these are free musical sessions for young children with their very own music man Ian.
Sing along to songs played on the ukulele and join in with the toe tapping fun that starts Friday the 15th of April, 9:30 till 10:15 a.m.
Yeah, as we said, it's all at Tipton Library, and you can find out more by calling 0121 557 1796, or you can email tipton_library@sandwell.gov.uk and tell them you heard about it on Big Centre.
Now, next, Billy Spakeman and his Omar and Chain show present Woodman at the Pump House on Saturday the 16th of April at the Langley Pump House.
Yeah, it's the 4th show presented by Billy, and all performers support the Woodman Folk Club at Ashwood Mariner. For more information on that, contact b.dakin@aston.ac.uk or text 07514 824 845.
You're getting all the emails and numbers again.
It's my turn again, isn't it?
Now, every Monday night at the Saddlers Club in Bescott, there is a sequence dance night from 8:30 p.m. till 11 p.m. If you're interested, I'm interested.
Are you? Do you go sequence dancing?
Well, no, but we need to bring them back, I think. They're a dying breed.
Do you dance?
Yes. What's that supposed to be?
No, I'm terrible. I've got 2 left feet, is what I mean.
Now, if you're interested, then they'd like you to pop along and support local places to dance, because they say that there are too many places closing down for people to have a good social night out. My point exactly.
It is, it's true.
So you might see me and Lee there.
Now, there's a PS on the message that they sent to us, and they say, loving the exercise in the morning. That's Get Up and Go. Nice one. So that's every Monday night from 8:30 at the Saddlers Club.
Glyn Hefferman has been in touch to say, hello, my friend Richard Evans of Ravenswood Hill in Coles Hill is doing a 4-day charity bicycle ride from Crystal Palace in London to Paris.
Wow.
Let's just let this sink in. He's driving from Crystal Palace in London to Paris.
Cycling all the way.
In France, all the way, in July, in the aid of Mary Ann Evans Hospice.
Excellent.
It will be a 305-mile cycle, beginning with 95 miles to Dover, then a couple of 2-day 75-mile journeys, just a couple of 75-mile journeys, finishing with a 60-mile cycle into Paris itself.
Oh, he's going to be exhausted.
Bit of shopping then.
Well, yeah, why not? Richard's wife Kim runs the charity shop on Coles Hill High Street, so this event is very much a family affair. So if you'd like to donate to the hospice or find out about more what they do, where their shops are, then pop along to their website, which is maryannevans.org.uk.
As part of the 400th anniversary of the death of Shakespeare in April, Great Bridge Library is hosting a to bake or not to bake.
That is the question.
Don't bake. Don't do it, women.
What?
Go out and don't bake.
Are you suggesting that all the men should bake instead?
Well, are you suggesting all the women should to bake?
Not at all, no.
Should we move on?
I bake.
Could get sensitive.
True.
Okay, it's hosting a to bake or not to bake sale at the library on Saturday the 16th of April from 10:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m.
Oh yes, they're inviting everyone to bake or bring a cake and sell it off to raise funds for the Friends of the Library Group to provide activities for children and young people. You see, all in a good cause, so
all
it's
in
okay.
good cause, yeah. For more info, the road to hell is paved with good intention. For more information, why not have a look at www.sandwell.gov.uk/libraries.
Oh yes. Next, Reclaim Photography West Midlands has announced details of their eagerly awaited first international photography street exhibition, Reclaim the Streets, which will take place on Saturday the 16th of April from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. at the Black Country Living Museum in Dudley, Grand Central in Birmingham, Harrison Learning Centre, Lighthouse Media Centre and Manda Centre in Wolverhampton.
The idea is that the street exhibition will reclaim selected public spaces to promote the very best in art photography. Prints donated from the regional and international amateur, professional and student photographers will be displayed alongside internationally established and world-renowned exhibiting art photographers. So they could be next to Mario Testino.
Quite possibly, yeah. Plus, to accompany the street events, a unique joint gallery exhibition hosted by the Long Gallery at the University of Wolverhampton and Wolverhampton's Art Gallery will offer the public a unique opportunity to see a selection of photographs by UK and internationally exhibiting artists from Croatia, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Italy, Japan, Sweden and the USA.
The exhibition will showcase a selection of framed, limited edition and signed handprints from the UK and internationally renowned and emerging art photographers, including fine art, landscape, mixed media, photojournalism, portraiture and social documentary photography.
Wow. Now, prints from both the street events and gallery exhibition will be auctioned to raise funds for regional charity Ladies Fighting Breast Cancer. The auction will take place on Wednesday the 27th of April at the Wolverhampton School of Art Lecture Theatre.
Free theatre auction tickets are available and bids can also be placed in advance online at www.reclaimphotography.westmidlands.com. Just look for the online bid form.
Yeah, it's all in a good cause. Now, the auction will offer the public the chance to bid on blind lots, which will include at least one signed or unique print from regional and international artists, in addition to photographs donated by the general public.
Thank you, general public. The auction will provide photography collectors the opportunity to bid for these unique framed prints and support international art photographers and emerging artists of the future.
So, Reclaim the Streets. The street exhibition, again, is on Saturday the 16th of April at the Black Country Living Museum, Grand Central Birmingham and Harrison Learning Centre, Lighthouse Media Centre and Manda Centre in Wolverhampton. The joint gallery exhibition is on between Monday the 11th and Wednesday the 27th of April at the Long Gallery within the Wolverhampton School of Art at the University of Wolverhampton, as well as the Wolverhampton Art Gallery.
There's a lot going on in Wolverhampton.
It is.
Now, there's a new Chinese calligraphy exhibition happening in Sutton Coldfield on Saturday the 16th of April. There'll be an interactive session with workshops to show people how to write Chinese characters and a presentation from famous UK-based Chinese calligrapher Qi Zhang.
Now, he'll be showcasing his artwork and providing a brief explanation on the history of Chinese calligraphy. So if you're interested, you can see some of his work online at chicalligraphy.blogspot.co.uk.
The keynote speaker is Councillor Alex Yip, who is the first Chinese councillor to be elected into Birmingham City Council, representing his Sutton Coldfield New Hall ward.
The calligraphy exhibition represents Chinese art and culture being explored by the local community and bridging the gap between the West and the East. It's been hosted by Sutton Coldfield Scouts Group, the Birmingham Chinese Community Centre and the British Chinese Project.
I used to be in the Scouts.
Did you?
Girl Guides, yeah.
I was going to say, Scouts?
Well, yeah, Girl Guides, it was fun. So, once again, it's happening on Saturday the 16th of April at Philip Baker Hall Scouts Community Centre on Dewey Road. Yes. On Dewey Road in Wild Green, Sutton Coldfield. That's a very quirky name.
I like that, yeah. So there, yeah, that's what's coming up on our community notice board this week.
Now, would you like to tell people across the area what's going on near you? It really is free, but you'll need to let us know in plenty of time.
Yeah. Now, you can email us via the postbag, and that is postbag@bigcentre.tv. Or you can send us a message on social media. Just look us up anywhere, Big Centre TV. That's right.
Or if you're like me and you prefer the old-fashioned way, you can pop a letter in the post to the community notice board, Big Centre, 14A, Lower Hall Lane, Walsall, WS1 1RL.
OK, now it's time for our brand new feature, Charity Focus. And if you know of a local charity that would benefit from some good local exposure on the telly, then get in touch and I'll tell you how later on in the show. Natalie.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Charity Focus. Now, the one that we are focusing on today is the YMCA Open Door project, and joining me now is Rachel Taylor. Rachel, thank you so much for being here today. I'm really excited to speak about the YMCA Open Door because I know about the fantastic things that you do. So before we start, just give everyone a little bit of a background on what it is you do within the project.
OK, well, I'm the supported lodgings manager. And what the project does is when young people, 16 and 17-year-olds, are referred to the YMCA for accommodation, rather than placing them in one of our hostels, we place them with a host family in the community.
OK, so regarding the YMCA Open Door, Just tell us a little bit more about how it started and the effect that it has on youth homelessness within the community.
Okay, well, it was set up because when young people were being referred and placed in our hostel, we realised that they actually needed more support. We feel that the best place for a young person is usually with their own family, but when, for whatever reason, that can't happen, we felt it was better for them to be with another family in a more normal setting than in a hostel sort of environment. So we recruit families across the Black Country and we place 16 and 17-year-olds with them in their spare room.
Fantastic. So how does the YMCA Open Door project work in terms of placing the youth with families? Do the families sort of reach out to you, or do you have to recruit them? Do young people sort of ask where they want to live? How does that whole...
It's a bit of both. I mean, young people sometimes have very specific ideas about the areas they want to live in. We have to remind them sometimes that it's not an estate agent's, but we have hosts right across the Black Country now. We have almost 100. At the moment, we have about 70 or 80 young people placed, but we're desperately looking for new hosts so we can accommodate young people close to the places where they go to college and close to their family and friends if need be as well.
And how does that recruitment process work? How do you choose who you're going to have on the Open Door project?
Well, as a project, we really value life experience, so we're not looking for any specific qualifications or anything like that. The process is relatively short. They have to have a DBS check. They also have to go through a sort of training process. So
you're looking for new hosts again now.
Yes.
Any campaigns happening? Any amount of people that you need to step up and offer their spare rooms?
Well, we haven't set ourselves a specific target, but we are desperately looking for more people. I mean, we have at times had to turn young people away because we haven't got hosts for them.
Right.
We particularly need people who can do short-term placements as well as long-term. So we have a service called Emergency Night Stop.
Right.
And that literally is what it says on the tin.
It's when people
just,
are on the street and...
But potentially they may be on the street or they perhaps have been sofa surfing or you know, they could end up on the street if they didn't find a safe place.
It's a very short notice.
It is, yeah. They literally come in on the day, they need somewhere that night to stay.
Right.
And rather than sending them to a B&B, where again, because of their vulnerability, you know, they're kind of, really, it's a high risk thing for them.
Yes.
So we'd much rather put them with a safe host.
They need security and stability and reassurance.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
So we're looking for people, not necessarily that can do long term, although we do need that as well. But sometimes I think people are reluctant to come forward because they think, oh, I don't want to commit to 2 years because I've perhaps got my own child that comes home from university in the summer, or I have family come and stay. If you just tell us, well, we're available for this period of time, that's great as well. So we'd really take advantage of that.
That's fantastic. Rachel, best of luck with
you.
everything, I hope. And if you do want to get in touch with the YMCA Open Door project, we've got some information on the bottom of the screen now, so you can visit those. And thank you very much, Rachel.
Thank you, Natalie.
Cheers, thank you.
Time now to see what you've been saying to us. It's time for the postbag. Let's see what we've got this week. Well, as you might imagine, our new logo and look has generated plenty of interest and comments too. And from what I've seen, it's been overwhelmingly positive. Of course, nothing is always to everyone's taste, but as you can probably tell, we're working as hard as we can to be as good as we can possibly be. Now, we're not the BBC or ITV, but we've got plenty of good friends in both. But the point is that we are here for you. We're your big centre station, OK? So let's have a look at some of the comments we've received. And Sophie Sullivan has said, I'm liking the new logo, guys. New logo, new show maybe? She goes on to say, I'm glad things are on the move. I know you guys, how hard you guys work. The Big Centre team is like a little family. Keep it up, guys. I want to see the changes. Oh, thank you, Sophie. Now, Sophie was actually with us on Work Experience last year, and it looks like we've made a good impression. And she's right. We're moving in the right direction. On the flip side, Dennis Dengit says, oh no, I've enjoyed Big Centre's first year. Hope it's not going to get spoiled. Bring back the Wellies and Crossroads check-in. Even as a show for Crossroads fans. Another couple of shows I enjoyed were the Ad Show and Picture Box, and is David Hamilton going to make any more chat shows? Well, of course, we know we can't always please everyone, but thanks for the message, Dennis. It's good to see that you're still watching us. Now, as for your points, well, I'm actually really glad you enjoyed Crossroads Check-In, but I would say that, wouldn't I, because it was my show. But I must be honest, it's a show that only really worked when we were actually showing Crossroads. So if we should ever show Crossroads again, then I'm sure we'll do something similar. And I'll pass what you say about the wellies on to Captain Tongo and GJ. They're just in the office across from where I'm sitting at the moment. And if you know who they are, then they're actually still on Big Centre every day. In fact, if you were watching carefully, you'll have seen them earlier on this very show. The ad show and picture box may return one day, you never know. In fact, one of the cashiers in the supermarket near to our studios actually stopped me a couple of months ago, and they said that they liked the ad show. And finally, David Hamilton. Well, I worked on those original David Hamilton chat shows, and David's a lovely fella. He's obviously very busy with everything else he does at the moment, but although there aren't any plans at present, we've always said we never rule anything out, so stay tuned. Back to the new look, and Junior Coke says, great logo, great different graphics, and different colours on the logo between the programmes. And full weather and graphics after big news. Aha, glad you spotted all of those things. Yes, you see, we listened to what people were telling us, and we took a look at how we did things, including the weather, and we're glad you like how it's appearing now. Now, Steve Brown is a man of few words. He says, good work. Thanks, Steve. And Chris Brown, no relation, says, great logo, guys. Thank you too, Chris. We like it. Now, over on Twitter, Gareth Joy tweeted, looks slicker, shall have to watch the news and decide. And what did he think after the news? Well, he said, puts Anorak hat on. Overall, very good. Graphics have much more polish. Nice to see a detailed weather forecast too. Fair enough. Thanks, Gareth, for taking the time to have a look. Hey, there's nothing Anoraki about what you say. It's really good to know what you think. Other comments we had. Charlotte Goff says, love it, with a smiley face. Yeah, we like that. WW1WFA Wolvo reckons, better look, looks fresh and modern. Carl Robinson simply says, loving it. Paul the Wall says, loving the new look on Big Centre. And Brummy Gourmand says, loving the new logo. We like that. And Jack the Biscuit, I love that one, says, loving the new rebrand. Hello, Jack the Biscuit, we like that. And of course, the other big news this week, no pun intended, I can hear you laughing from here, Big Centre has now moved to Freeview Channel 7. So a quick reminder that many TVs will retune automatically, but you might just have to manually retune your TV to view us in our new location. Now, if you need any assistance or support, then have a look online at www.freeview.co.uk/support, or even quicker, you can look at the Freeview information channel on 100. Don't worry though, if you don't retune straight away, then you're not going to lose our channel. It's still going to remain accessible on Channel 8 until you retune. And of course, if you're watching on Virgin or online, then we're staying exactly where we are. It's only on Freeview, where we're now on Channel 7. So there you have it. That's what we found in the postbag for this week. And if you'd like to get in touch with us then on social media, we are at Big Centre TV. And of course, you can always email us at the postbag address, which is postbag@bigcentre.tv, or just write to us. And the address for anything at all is Big Centre, 14A Low Hall Lane, Walsall, WS1 1RL. So there you go, get in touch with us. Right, that's it from the Big Magazine for your Sunday. Don't forget to join Bob Hall tomorrow morning from 8 until 9 for the breakfast show on Big News, and again from 10 until 11. Now, our bulletins continue at 1 and 5:30 in the afternoon, and then again at 9 o'clock in the evening with updates throughout the day. Now, I do hope you can enjoy us, you can join us then. So from the whole team here, thank you for watching. I'll see you next week. Try a bit.